Hello there, welcome, hi. Time for some more Haskell live coding. Cool, so plan for today is to look at the account model that I have and try and make it a bit more useful. So these are like not user accounts, but bank accounts, and they have ledger entries linked to them, which show money coming in or out of the account. And they now have a balance as well. And I have some tests, which I did last week, which check that when you add money that the balance increases alongside it. So today, I guess I'm going to start by looking at stopping people withdrawing money when the account doesn't support it, with not enough funds, basically. So if you try and withdraw $100 and you only have 10, then it'll stop you from doing that. And at this time, I might look at the account model itself and try and make it a bit more useful. It's currently not got very much in it at all. So that's the plan. I'm a little bit late setting up today, so let me switch to here, but I need to try and get this thing working again. Right. So that's not running, and that might be because Docker's not running. Yes, it's not running. 1 second. The machine installed some updates and restarted and didn't restart Docker. Hopefully it's running now. Yes, it's running now, so hopefully I can run the server. There we go, look at that. It's opened it in the wrong browser. Good stuff. No. Oh, this one. Okay, so this one, if I go to accounts and something, is it? Or just an account ID? Yeah, okay. So this is a random account ID, and it shows me the account balance when it's created, the ID of the account, a name inside the account, and then a list of ledger entries. And this only has one ledger entry. Actually, to make things a bit easier, I might just list accounts when I hit localhost. It doesn't do anything at the minute. Just that when I come to test it, it would be quite helpful if it told me which accounts existed. So this is the account model I'm going to update, but let me just go to the API for a second. So in here, somewhere, it's my app. This is the account. Okay, so we have a single endpoint in the account API. And that's just a get endpoint, and it grabs the account ID. So I'm going to put something else in, which is list, and that's not going to capture anything, but it will have the mode. Oops. What's that? That one? Yeah. Mode, and then it's going to say get, it's going to return some JSON, and it's going to be a list of accounts. Accounts with ledgers. No, just accounts. I think. And now I need to change this into a data type. Without a capital D, because that'd be weird. Okay, and doesn't know what an account is, so we'll import that. And that's cool, but now this doesn't have an endpoint for list. So it's going to be handle list. Composer special, handle list. And, oops, it'll be handle list accounts, I guess. I'm going to tell it to define that for me. Okay, and this, I need to make it a bit longer, but it's basically saying we're going to need, we'll include the logger, and I'll include the account store because we need to load it from there. And given those things, I will then return a list of accounts. Oh, let's say it's f dot. Oh, it says clash, isn't it, in names? In symbols even, it's even worse. Okay, so this is going to be, actually I need to be able to say something like account store dot list accounts, and that's it. So let's go and write that. Here we go. Okay. So the account store. currently has a single effect. I'll add another one, and that just says account store M of, I think there might be an error actually thinking about it. So let me say it's going to be either a list account error or a list of accounts. And then we'll write this nonsense because I haven't put the templating in yet. I should do that at some point, but let's not do it right now. List accounts and list accounts. And here we don't take a UID. And it's going to be either a get account error or a list of accounts. And I'm not going to say get account. We're going to send list accounts. Okay. And get account error. See, I'm not sure I want to create another type here. I think what I really want to say is account store.error is either a get account error or it's a list account error. And I'll take a string as well. That's not a new type. A data type. Okay, so up here, where I just filled it in, and this list account error is going to be an error, and this is going to be an error as well, and probably in a whole bunch of other places. So that's just going to be error. Okay, and then somewhere down here, oh, it's going to be an error as well. Any more? No, good, okay. So, I would expect it to complain at this point, but it hasn't done. But really, it should be saying I haven't got list accounts in here. So we'll do that, but we're not going to call get, we're going to call account db.list, doesn't exist yet, and take the connection. And then count of, and then we've got left error, that's going to be pure left. This seems a bit messy. List account error. Don't really know why any different errors here. Doesn't seem to make any sense. Right, list of accounts is just going to be pure of right of the accounts. Okay, that's probably not the best way of doing that. I really want to just map the left of this. But it's probably right for now. I think the LSP is broken because it's not showing me the error here. That's the error it's showing. Okay, we're getting better. The variable E0 is ambiguous. Dispatch. Really? Oh, I think I got my type wrong. So I'm saying list accounts is just account store. Other error list of accounts. Let's send. These errors are so confusing. Send. So Haskell stack and dispatch of dynamic, which I think I have above. Given some effects. Hang on, given an E, which takes some effects and returns an A, no, takes an A. Oh no, I'm confused. This is a very confusing type signature. E of F of the effects and an A. So we couldn't much type this with A1 to that. So I think send is expecting an argument, but why is it expecting an argument? Because I haven't told it it has an argument, or have I? List account. I'm saying it has call stack. The effect has it an account store and a ledger store. We don't actually need a ledger store, so we can get rid of that, but that's not going to be an error. I'm going to return an effect of either an error or a list of accounts. That should be fine. Now up here we're saying it's an account store, some M, which is either an error or a list of accounts. But I don't see why that's not working. And the whole thing says dynamic dispatch. Maybe the thing above had a UID. Okay, that's cool. So we don't have something with UID. There, what's it missing? Right, okay. Does not apply to any arguments. I think that's what went wrong. Okay. List accounts I need to export. Okay, now we're getting better. So it doesn't list, and it doesn't know list account error because it's list accounts error. So now that's the error I expected to see, which is that there is no account db.list. So now we jump into here. I can say list takes a connection and returns IO of either a session error or a list of accounts. So I'll move this underneath the get stuff. That's all of the get stuff. Actually, two account belongs to that as well. Down here, okay. So I'll say list takes this and that, and it runs. Instead of get session, I just align this. I think it gets a bit long if you have multiple functions. So it's session.statement. Doesn't take any arguments, so I need to tell its unit, and it's going to be list statement. So we will define that. And this is going to be, I'll just copy it a little bit from above. So we don't need to map in the way in, we need to RMap it. And it's not a single statement, it's another thing. So RMap of to account. RMap comes from profunctor. Okay, so it's not a single statement. Oh, there's no UID either. It's not a single statement. It is a maybe no, none of these. Vector statement, that's right. Okay, so you have like a vector of results. What's the error here? Okay, I think it's to do with this. So in the R map, we need something from vector, which is like v.map. So we have a vector of accounts and we want a list of accounts. And actually, we could just return a vector of accounts. I mean, we could convert to list, but why bother? I'll probably find out why later on, but let's do that. And now we need to change everything. Okay, add reduce if you want to. So we should export list. Okay, so now we go back to the store. I wonder if we can just change the type of this everywhere. Instead of being list of account, there we go. Instead of being list of account, the reason I selected it, I want to grab them all. There's only 2 of them. Okay, cool. So vector of account, and we'll import the vector. Okay, and then we go back to the API. This should now be upset because I've told it, well, I got it wrong twice. So I've told it it is a list of, where were we? Down here. I told it's a list of accounts, but actually it's a vector. It's either some kind of error, or a vector of accounts. I really hope vector's got a sensible JSON implementation. Okay, and I should have one more error. I do not. I've got more than one error. This also needs to return a vector of accounts, except not really, because it needs to return what's the type? So it's either some text or that, and not sure I need to do in there, but let's find out. So in the handle get account, how do we deal with the error? Do you know, if there's an error talking to server, why don't we just return a 500? Rather than taking this error and converting it to text and returning either type. Because I think, if I can find the browser again, where did the browser go? I think, no, not that browser. If we look in here, you can see it's right of all this stuff. I don't really want that. That's not cool. So what I might actually do, go back up here. So I'm going to say it is just a vector of accounts. And if it's not a vector of account, I'm going to throw an error, and I'm going to throw a 500 error of some kind. So let's say, well, first of all, I'll get that back. So this is the accounts. And then you can say case accounts of, and if it's left and some error, then we will say throw error of error 500 probably. I can't remember what that takes as an argument. But if it's right of accounts, then we just return the accounts. let's say right of x is x. Can match type of count with vector account. List account turns vector account. So this is either an error or a vector account. And this is a vector account. And this, should be pure. That's why. Okay, through error. This is going to come from no, none of these things. That's not what I wanted. Error 500 is going to come from servant. And it probably takes some arguments. So it's not throw error. It's going to be in Hoogle. So error 500 comes from here. And there's another helper for throwing error. No. Where are we going to find this? I don't want to format it. It is called throw error. Basically, I want to do one of these. So throw error, and then it can take an error body, and I can print out the error message inside there. Let's throw error. That's maybe where I went wrong. That's servant. Okay. And then we can say error body is equal to show. Error body is equal to show, and then the error. We'll just pull in this. I need to turn it into some stuff. Oh, I want text. Do I have a toString helper, or is that only in ReLUde? Not hopefully. Okay, it's going to be take it unpack. Show error. So pull in. No. Oh, expected a byte string and actually gets a string. Oh, that's annoying. So I have an error which implements show. Is there any kind of like bs.show? Or bs is byte string? Nope. Is there... Actually, let me compile for a second. And the library up here, I don't have byte string explicitly. Package byte string. And I'm going to grab the version, so it's 0.12.10. Uh, 0.12.10. Just let that run for a second. While it's doing that, I want to have a look inside here and see if there's a way of like a show equivalent. Byte string implement show, that's not what I want. There is not, okay. So now we want somewhere like constructing by introducing. I could pack it, I guess. So it would be something like bsc.pack of show error. But no, because it wants lazy. So undo that. I'll try it again. So lazy chart. Okay. And now could not deduce that. I need to tell it that it's a server error. That's the wrong throw error. Where am I pointing this from? Oh yeah, sure. Oh, that went very long. The throw error is in here. Okay. So throw error. You should probably use throw error from effectful. Right, okay. So I don't want, oh, you're right, because I'm not in the normal handler. Thank you, Dexter, I presume. Okay, so throw error. I could probably just say f.throw error at this point. Nope, because it's not an effectful. Also, error, server error. Wow, good job here. Okay, so error, and then it's f dot server error. Is that right? Plus a static error. Show out. No. No. Where have I got this before? I can copy it from a place. I'm sure it's through errors somewhere else. Do my list of, oh, here. Okay, so that. Okay, and now I can try and find the throw error. So I'm going to pull it in from I have static imported, so I could do that. Okay, so now I need to say that this will also throw the error, so the server in general might throw an error. And now it looks like it type checks. Okay. Okay. I'm glad you've been learning servant effectful, because now you can help me out with my servant and effectful problems. Okay, if I go back to there, I now get a list of, wow, a list of many test accounts. That's interesting. I must be, oh, I didn't clean up. That's right. So before I separated out the test database, I created a load of crap in there. And also before I added the cleanup. But anyway, it's cool, right? It's cool in the fact that, in the sense that I get all of this stuff. What I might do is, I want to see the error handling. So I need to break it. Don't want to print it. What I might do actually is, wasn't on my plan for tonight, but I might also change get to to show errors in a better way. Okay, so what I want to change this to is just say it's only going to show an account with ledger. So here, I say it's only an account with ledger. Back on one line. Okay. So what I want to say here is a similar thing, but it's slightly different because if it hasn't found an account, then I want to return a 404. But if I get an error, a different error, then I want to throw a 500, I think. So I can say the account is account store dot get account UID. One time it's actually Dexter, how are you finding effectful and servant, but mostly effectful? Because I've been writing this with effectful to learn the effect system, and I've written something else recently without effectful again, and actually it feels more complicated than I need for the stuff I'm doing. But I wonder if it's just because I'm not used to it, or actually if it's more appropriate for a bigger code base or a code base shared with more people. But I haven't really seen the payoff from it yet, I think. So I'm going to throw an error. For now, just throw a 500. I'll come back to it in a second, see if I can split it up. Error body is equal to bsc.flag of show error. I can extract that in a second. And right of x is just going to be pure x. It's probably a better way of doing this. Okay, so I think it's great. That's cool. I'll persevere with it then, in the hope that I get to the point where I appreciate it more. Okay, it's running. Load that up. So if I just go to this thing that exists, that's fine. But if I take this off, invalid UID, and what path am I expecting? Yeah, that's a good question. I think 400 bad request. Oh, it's invalid UID. Okay, it's a servant kicking in. Let me just stick a 9 in there. Now we get this response, which should be a 500. There we go, internal server error, and just this thing. I think, yeah, in terms of payoff, I guess I was thinking that it would be easier to specify the effects and co-effects of a function than it is in MTL style. But I just find it a lot of noise, and actually just passing in the dependency is probably easier, and then calling on lift.io. But I don't know. I mean, I didn't have a lot of effects in an MTL style either, so maybe the more effects I get, the easier it would be, or the less noise it seems in comparison to the list of effects. I haven't swapped out effects either. That's the other thing. So there's all of this ability to I could call this function now with a stubbed effect and use it for testing or whatever, but I haven't done that yet. Maybe at that point, using effect system might seem better. I'm going to just stick a logger into here because I don't have it for listing accounts. Okay. What was I going to do? So if it doesn't exist, I want to build a test. So it's probably, I want to return a different error from the database layer. So in Haskell, I'll have to detect when there are no results versus when there's a different type of problem. A different problem is probably just me stopping a database. But yeah, so in account store, this is account store for, let's see account store again. Account store's got get account, that's what I'm looking for. Down here, this is the level I want to be at. Okay. So I'm saying this, and I want to detect what type of error it is. So maybe I need to look at this session error in Haskell. Do I know what onLift.io is? That's probably not really. My understanding on onLift.io is I thought it was when you were wrapping IO in another monad and you want to be able to use that in places you would use IO. My wary understanding, but that might be wrong. I'm looking for a session error. So what can we do? It's basically mono on steroids. Okay. Sorry, this is going to be a result error, not a single. So perhaps I need to spend some time diving into onLift.io and monad.io to understand them better rather than the understanding. 7 second statement. No, that's what I want. Not result error, session error. Session error can be a query error or a pipeline error. And query error has just got, command error inside it, which can be result error, which can be row error or unexpected amount of rows int. Under the unlifting in 2 minutes section. So the unlifting in 2 minutes section of what? So I'm going to go from session error to bool, I think. A link you sent. Oh, I think the chat has filtered out the link. I can't see it in my chat. I'll have to have a look on the website. Unleft IO and hackage. Okay, cool. So unleft IO. Unlifting in 2 minutes. Cool. This is my reading for next week then. Thank you. I shall go and have a look at that. What was I doing? Right. I have a session error and I want to find out whether or not it's no results found. So contents might be something in session. That's where it was. Okay, that's not what I want. Nope. Okay, back to Google. So I have a session error. I really want a bool to say, is it no results found? And I don't have one of those, so I'll write it, I guess. Okay, so who called this? Okay, so here, my silly error, but I just have get account error. I maybe want to change this a little bit. I want to say something like, when you call account store, you can get a no results found error, or like an other error. Let's say server error. Probably not true. You just call it a session error. Hope that doesn't clash. So when you're calling get account, what I'm going to do here is say if it is should no result be an error. Yeah. I think if you say get this account, should it be a maybe account in that case? Okay. So let's go to that, and you type this again. Okay, so where's the definition of the effect? So up here, I'm going to say it's either an error or maybe an account with ledger. And here it's either an error or maybe an account with ledger. And then down here, if we got an account, it's going to be, I guess down here, nope, on ledger. Oh God. This is going to be I think it's going to be just applied to that, but then what comes back from here? Oh, wait, what's type of? Oh no, this is more complicated because this is actually. Oh no, sorry, this is just that. I can't remember how this works. So where are we here with map result? Which says account with ledger. Okay, so this is what it just should be stuck in. I forgot to add right to my result. Well, the thing is, add ledger itself is returning right. So let's just work out what add ledger is giving me back, so I could then sneak the maybe into here. You want to either maybe A, you get maybe either. No, neither maybe. I'm so confused now. Hang on. I wanted it to be either an error or maybe an account. And down here, this is going to be, I'm just going to fix this because it's annoying me. It's going to be an error. Did I call it a session error? Did I just call it error? That was a bit stupid of me. Account db.error. No, what do they call it? I called it. Oh, hang on, sorry, no, it's this error I'm returning. So this is going to be this session error. And same here, okay. So this is account, this is listing, and this is getting, if we get it, we get an account back. If it's an error, we just return that, that's all cool. If it's not, we add a ledger to it. And adding a ledger to it takes maybe an account. It doesn't at this point. Oh, fuck's sake. So by the time at which we get here, and that's okay. So at this point, there will be an account. Yes. So if there was not an account, we'd have got an error. So there's definitely an account. And we want to return either an error or maybe an account with ledger. So the same return as this, basically. Either an error or maybe an account with ledger. Okay. So now we load the ledger. And we say, if that came back with an error, then we return session error. I'm not sure what the helper. Otherwise, we want to. Otherwise, we have. Oh, fuck's sake, we have an account. It's going to be just apply to that, apply to the account, apply to ledger. It's not a nice way of writing that. Okay, but anyway, back to where we were, because now, so now we can have right of just X, and we also have right of nothing. Okay, and this is where we want to throw the error. Error 404. Yeah, get rid of the bracket. Okay, I get rid of it. So if I now run it again, okay, flip back to browser. So here, this should now be a 404. 500 internal server error. Where are you going to lift out your effect? What do you make ledger effect and your account effect? It's not there, is it? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let me. In the account store, you're saying, where is it? Down here. So why am I running account DB functions and lift them to IO in your ledger effect? I'm running the ledger effect in the account store. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, so I want to go back to why this doesn't work. And no, this is the account effect, which uses the ledger effect. So this list IO is the account database itself, but adding the ledger is using the effect, not lifting that. Right, okay. What was it doing? So I didn't actually detect the error. Right. At some point, I got so confused with the types, I forgot to write the code. At some point, I want to actually return nothing. So here I can say left error, and then I want to say if it's a not found error. This is not found. Then that should be nothing. And then otherwise, that's not nothing, is it? You're right, nothing. Okay, and then is not found. Whoops, that's what I want to do. Sorry, define it. And this goes from session error to bool. And this is Haskell. Just import that. Oh, no, because it's a name clash. Import Haskell and then qualified. It's qualified actually. Haskell.session qualified. Let me qualify it as something then. As Haskell session. Okay, so back down to here. So now I can make this Haskell session. Okay, so where was I? The constructor for this session error is going to be query error containing a command error. It's a query error, ignore the stuff, and then command error, and then result error. Oh, this is, so it was a query error. These are all coming from Haskell session. This is going to get really tedious, but it was a query error, and it has two things I don't care about. And then if the command error is actually a result error, and again, this comes from Haskell session, and result error is an unexpected amount of rows. of rows 0, and this is Haskell session that. So if it's that, then true, and is not found, otherwise is false. Okay, beautiful piece of code. I mean, nice way of doing that. But anyway, does it work? I guess is my first question. Okay, so reload that. We now get 4 of 4 not found. Excellent. Okay, and then for other errors, we should still get the 500 error back. Okay, none of this is what I meant to do today, but it's probably a lot better. Yeah, because now I'm actually returning error codes rather than just returning an either type all of the time. And also we're distinguishing between not found and an actual error, which is cool. Haskell code, it seems to be doing similar things. Wow, I'm surprised there's no helper for that, because it seems like quite a common thing to want to know, which is, did you get no results back when you expected them? Okay, pretty much on time actually, so I might just call it a day at this point. So we didn't do any of the extending the account, but that's okay because it doesn't really matter. Different account. I've got an account somewhere here. Yeah, I want to extend this a little bit, but I also, maybe for next time, I want to add an endpoint. Oh, this is it. I don't have endpoints yet for depositing money. Okay. Yeah, so I want to add another API endpoint, one for depositing money and one for withdrawing money, or maybe, yeah, probably 2 different endpoints, one for deposit, one for withdrawal. And then on the withdrawal, I was going to check the balance, but this is all going to be next week now. So yeah, I'll come back to next week. I'm going to add more endpoints, look at withdrawal and depositing, and then try and make sure that you can't withdraw money if there are no funds available. But for now, that's it on handling errors a little bit nicer in the API. So thanks, Dexter, for all of your help. It's been really great. I will go away and read the unleft AO stuff, and yeah, hopefully see you next week. Goodbye.